In our Monday packet, the second paper has to do with phonics, but we are not going to do that phonics page, so it looks like that, so you can just set it aside. We are not doing that. It's talking a little bit about prefixes and base words and suffixes, and how to divide a word, and we're not going to go back over that, so we are not doing that page, but we are doing the next page, which is language. So here they're trying to tell you the parts of a book, and this is new information. The title page gives important information about the book. And you can see they have a picture of a title page. The Cat That Ate a Fly. That's the title of this book. It tells who the author is. It tells who and the author means the person who did the writing. It tells who the illustrator is, and that's the person that did the pictures in the book. And it tells you the company that produced the book. All right? So here's a book here. This is the book that you'll be reading in Mrs. Hedden's class if you're here in 3rd grade. She reads this book, and this is what Paige has been reading. And there is the title page. So you can see on the title page it says Little House on the Prairie. All right. And then it says by Laura Ingalls Wilder. She's the author. And then it says the illustrator is Garth Williams. That's what that says, illustrator. He drew all the cute pictures. And then down below here, it tells where the book was published, what publishing company, which happens to be Harper. Okay, so that's a title page. Now let's go down to number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's see if we can answer some of those questions. Number 1, the title page tells who wrote the book. Is that true? Yes, it does tell who wrote the book. Just in our Little House on the Prairie book, it was written by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The Cat That Ate a Fly was written by Mary Mack. Okay, so number 1 is a yes, so fill in that bubble. Number 2, the author is the person who drew the art for the book. No, that is not true. The author writes the words. The illustrator draws the pictures. So don't mark number 2 and move down to number 3. The illustrator of the book is named on the title page. Yes. So number 3 is a fill in the bubble. Number 4, the publisher is the person who wrote the book. No. So don't fill in number 4. The publisher is the person who actually produced the book, actually printed it on the printing presses or whatever, and put the cover on it and put it together, okay? Publish the book. Move down to number 5. Looking up above, the Cat That Ate a Fly. Who is the author of that book? Is it F.W. Giles? Is it Lodi Press? Or is it Mary Mack? Who wrote the book? Fill in your bubble and move down to number 6. Who is the publisher who actually wrote, said all the doings to be able to publish, to be able to make the book so that we could buy it? Who is that person? Is it F.W. Giles? Is it Lodi Press? Or is it Mary Mack? Fill in the bubble and move down to number 7. What do you think this book is about? Do you think it's about facts about flying? Because it does have the word fly in it. Do you think it's a story about a cat and a fly? Or do you think it's got facts about dogs? What do you think this book, The Cat That Ate a Fly, if you pick that up at the library with Mrs. Reese, what do you think the book's going to be about? Is it going to be about flying, about a cat and a fly, or about dogs? Fill in the bubble and turn your page to the back. Now the contents page. It tells the chapter titles and the page number where each chapter begins. So, contents. So it's telling all the titles of the chapters. This is in Page's book, where it says the contents, and it has all the chapters listed and the page number that you can find them. Okay? So, if you're going to read about worldview thinking, you're turning to page 1. If you're, oops, that's not true. Yes, that is true. Okay. If you are going to learn about cold-blooded animals, you're turning to page 4. But actually, it's chapter 1. So the chapters are listed over on the left side. So chapter 6 is sound. Chapter 8 is soil, rocks, and minerals. Chapter 3 is plants. Okay? Now, I noticed that in Page's book, they did not tell Page chapters. And I see that someone went in and wrote the chapter number. Because if Mrs. Hedden says, now I want you to be on chapter 3, then you're going to need to know what is chapter 3. And you can count down and figure it out. But it's easier if you have the chapter number. All right. So now it's going to ask some questions here at the bottom. What is the title of chapter 5? So you're moving down here where it says chapter 5. I can't read it upside down, but okay, right there. Okay, that says 5. And what is the chapter title? Is it matter, weather, or sound? Fill in your bubble and move down to number 9. What chapter tells about plants? Chapters 1, 2, or 3? Which chapter has the word plants in it? Fill in your bubble and move down to number 10. What chapter talks about or tells about soil and rocks? Chapter 1, Chapter 8, or Chapter 11? Which chapter tells about soil and rocks? Fill in the bubble and move down to number 11. On what page does chapter 2 begin? Does chapter 2 begin on page 4, on page 24, or on page 44? What page does chapter 2 begin? And you're going to know, because here, these are the pages, and then these are the chapters. So chapter 2 is going to begin on what page? Okay. And the last one, on what page does the index begin? So look on your page, find the word index, and tell me what page the index begins. This is valuable information. This is information you'll be over again and again and again in your lifetime. But we use this, parents use it, teachers use it, everybody uses the table of contents to know where to find something in your book. We use it all the time. So this is excellent information. Okay, do you have it done? If you do, you're done with your language for this day. Okay, bye-bye.